think he's got aces.
That is uncanny.
I think he's got 2 aces.
What do you do if you're McLean?
From accurately identifying opponents' hands to identifying tells,
Your eyes blink, sir. You got a set, don't you?
What?
Wow. That was impressive.
That was a soul read.
My eyes blinked?
these are the most insane poker reads in history. Starting off strong with the poker player known for easily reading his opponent's hands, Daniel Negreanu. Imagine getting a compliment from the very person you're playing against.
You're special, though.
That's what I've been told.
Are we sensing a bromance here? Nah, kidding. It actually started with Daniel guessing the wrong way.
And he moves all in. We could be about to lose Daniel Negreanu.
Sick part is he thinks he's value betting.
67, 7,075.
This wasn't a great card for Torelli either.
Got ace, queen of hearts or something.
This will be an awful line for a bluff, so Alex might think he's beat here.
And yet, Torelli is obviously being played. Could he have seen that coming? Probably not.
It's like I want to fold.
Really?
You have a what?
I want to fold.
You don't have a fold?
No, I want to fold.
Oh,
I wanted to
did you have
fold
ace, queen of hearts? Is that what you have?
I wanted
That's
to
kind of what I put you on.
Fold the damn turn.
There is an argument. If you call the turn, you have to call the river.
Ace, queen of hearts might get half.
I mean, it's really hard to be bluffing.
That part's true.
You're special.
True to form, Daniel ended up reading Torelli's hand, which at this point does not surprise viewers at all.
Alec is getting almost 3-1.
He had fives?
Ding.
If you think that's already interesting, you've got another thing coming.
Daniel likes to play. He calls the raise of 30,000. Carry Cats folds. Chidwick's out. Bryn Kenny folds the small blind. Mustafa Cannet in the big. Gets out of the way. So the two chip leaders go heads up to the flop.
You can see Daniel deep in thought. Daniel being a complete chatterbox, you know him silently reading his opponent's play only means he's got all of his brain cells in laser focus.
Daniel does not have a set, but this is a flop he can convince himself his deuces are good on.
28,000.
Ivan Luka makes a continuation bet. Small C-bets are in right now, but it does make it very easy for your opponent to float you. Remember, this event is playing with a shot clock. Every player has 30 seconds per decision.
You would think 30 seconds is too short a time. But even then, Daniel already knows what to do. And when it was time, Daniel decided to raise.
Called by Luka with his overpair. The raise by Daniel might also just buy him a cheap showdown. Three of spades on the turn, pairing the board. Luka now an 86% favorite. He checks. Negreanu checks behind.
Daniel's silence was so uncharacteristic of him. Anyhow, even after checking with eights in the river, Luka was still in the lead with nines.
Check.
That looks like a check to induce to me. Pretty sure Luka's confident he's got the best hand.
Does he though? To his confidence, Daniel responds with,
Daniel bets ridiculously big, 400K. Wow. And Luka folds. That was not the bet he was trying to induce. Daniel's reputation earns him a win there. Bluffs like that from him are few and far between. And that win will see Daniel Negreanu take the chip lead up over 2 million.
Contrary to his rather silent behavior earlier, he was not the least bit silent here. See for yourself.
Tarnovs, pocket jacks.
Oh, hello.
He raises to 4,400. Nikolaus Teichert in the small blind has ace-9 suited.
Dang, bro.
He's in.
You make me pay now because you know I never fold. That's fair. Okay. Do what you got to do. I understand. I'm not going to take it personal. Here.
He didn't, and yet, funnily enough, he never stopped chattering. Well, who even finds that surprising at this point? No one, really.
Take whatever you want. I just don't fold. It's so boring to fold. So I decided no more folding. We'll see. And I'll tell you what I have after the flop.
What you have, Daniel, is top pair.
Check to that guy. He's going to raise. What are you looking at me for? I'm not going to bet. Come on. This flop, that texture. Psh. How many spades are there? 3? Ooh. Scare card.
When he finally made a move, after endless chit-chat, it seemed, it didn't come as a surprise.
Take a stab. Nope. I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna take a stab. That's not. Yeah. See what that does. 82. Lots of fun stuff happening on that board. Give me one of these. My dad used to do this to me when I was younger. He gave me the nose when he'd stare at him.
You can't see it, but we're totally doing it.
And yet, again, he continued his monologue even when no one was taking part in what could have been considered a conversation if he wasn't the only one speaking.
You're the guy who checked queens before in the 10-high flop, so now I'm scared.
River bricks out for Tarhanovs.
Daniel should absolutely be betting this board.
He does, 9,600.
96? Yep. We have like jacks or queens or something like that? Is that what you have with a spade? That's what you have? Jacks or queens with a spade? Oh, I got it! Ha, he smiled, that's what he's got.
Does the smile really mean anything? Maybe, maybe not. Well, of course you already know what it meant, but Tarhanovs really did try to brush it off.
Because you are talking.
Oh, I love to talk. I don't shut up. You haven't been paying attention the last 4 hours?
Story checks out.
When have you seen me shut up? I just keep blah, 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 blah. Diarrhea of the mouth. Can't help myself.
Well, at least he's honest. And didn't somebody say self-awareness is important? Anyhow.
What do I have? I would tell you, except you're not allowed. It's an EPT rule. I would tell you exactly what I have, but I can't.
Call. Because you're
I
Nigerian.
have a king.
No.
Okay. Works.
So Daniel wins the last hand of the level.
This is fun. I love having fun playing poker.
Obviously, though, Negreanu is not the only one who can read his opponents like an open book. Contrary to Daniel Negreanu's seemingly endless chatter, Phil Ivey is pretty much silent and observant when reading his opponents.
Jackson is willing to get into a poker match here. Phil Ivey, though, if he really thinks deeply about this, might be asking himself, well, now wait a minute. If this guy had a jack in his hand, would he re-raise me here?
So he's thinking it, and the question is, will he overthink it?
A re-raise!
Well, there you are. Re-raises to 320,000. It's right back in the face of Paul Jackson.
Nobody connected with that flop, and here they are, raise, re-raise, re-raise.
And so, it didn't come as a surprise when Jackson again raised.
Another 150,000, now it's up to 470.
Almost 1 million chips in this pot now.
How much you got left? 360.
I don't see how he can possibly continue in this hand. Everything Paul Jackson has done.
All in.
What?
That's why we're here and they're there.
Absolutely astonishing poker.
You can almost see the wheel in Ivey's mind working as he observes and analyzes, then decides.
What was point thinking, isn't it?
It's quite obvious how the play turned out there. Sometimes it feels as if Ivey's eyes drills into his opponent's minds, which is why he could read their play so easily.
13,000. Pot is now nearly 31,000. 13,000 over to Ivey.
Well, he's reaching for the chips. He's not going anywhere by the looks of things. Well, looks like he's got something more creative lined up. That looks like 33,000 to me.
33,000.
Now this is the dangerous spot for Patrick Antonius. If he calls the 20,000 on the turn, he might be faced with a big bet on the river. And he's going to call this. Pot is now $84,000.
The silence is deafening, to say the least, with both players observing, thinking.
Phil obviously knows now he has to bet to win this pot.
All in. All in.
And Phil Ivey's all in.
It's a tough call with just a 10 and a king kicker.
It's $101,000 to call. He overbets the pot. It's exactly the way Phil Ivey would play this if he had a set, or if he made two pair, something like that.
Well, he lays it down. It's a great play by Phil.
Arguably, Ivey's reads aren't as interesting as Daniel Negreanu as he does it silently. It would have been hard to guess he was reading the play, or bluffing. Likewise, Greg Geller is a silent observer, and attacks when you least expect it, in a manner of speaking.
Back to the featured table now. 3 players in a hand. Mike Matiso, Roberto Romanello, and Greg Geller. Matiso with pocket 9s. Romanello has pocket jacks. Geller leads them both with 2 kings.
3 big pocket pairs. I smell trouble.
Flop now is ace, jack, king. Geller hit his set of kings. Romanello a set of jacks, and that missed Matasso.
Set over set. Now I really smell trouble.
Matasso does check. Romanello owns a fish and chip shop in Wales, and he checks.
What's one to do if not follow suit? And so, soon after that, Geller checks too.
Geller still leads with his 3 kings.
But see, someone's got to have Broadway now, don't they? Well, nobody does, but somebody should.
Matasso checked it. Romanello now checks it over to Geller, who leads, and he checks.
But I got to get a court order to make this guy bet?
Another 10 on the river. Geller gets the check mark with kings full. Matasso's lucky he didn't hit that 9. He checks. Romanello now will bet 1,800 with jacks full.
Yeah. Could that have been a good move? You'll see. Side note, all 3 of them holding pairs is just fascinating.
Geller now, kings full, and a check mark will raise it to 6,000.
Well, now Geller's check looks brilliant. He's got Romanello trapped.
Matasso gets out of the way. Now to Romanello, needs 4,200 to call.
Just don't raise me.
Geller playing games with Romanello.
You show if I pass? Pardon me? You show if I pass? No. One time? No.
Geller was probably feeling confident at this point, after closely observing Romanello.
Okay, I'll show.
Geller trying to move things along.
Is he really thinking of folding this?
Okay.
He does.
No way he folds.
Yeah, he said he would. Let's go. Fold. You're out. Your hand's dead. Let's go.
And shows.
Wow. How do you fold that hand?
Romanello folds jacks full.
Wow.
And that is the player's good instinct moment.
Oh my God. I could never have folded that hand. Unbelievable.
That's exactly how you do it. You can just as easily see other players being in awe of Geller's move.
Nice fold.
Wow. Okay, I would never have folded that hand. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I knew I was beat. That is the fold of the tournament that I've ever seen.
Are there even grocery stores near monasteries?
How do I draw tables with people like this? I mean, there's 72 million idiots out there, and I got to drop guys laying jacks full down and being right.
What's a better word than mind-blowing? Nothing. The same unbelievable scenario happened again here.
Of course he raises. Bonomo folds, Barry's out.
I call.
First time.
I know.
Nice defense.
Got a really, really good hand this time.
Ace-10 suited?
Better.
I don't believe.
9-8-10, Daniel flops a straight.
Jack Queen of Hearts?
He's also the godfather of soul reads.
So Daniel checked, Lex fired 2,200.
You must be wondering what's up with that. This is what's up.
Another ill-timed bet by Lex. This time he's leading into the nuts. And Daniel's got a redraw to the super nuts.
Daniel repops to 6,600.
Lex can't love his hand.
Okay.
But he calls anyway.
Laboriously.
Tray of spades on the turn.
A lot of players would have slow played the nuts on the flop, but Daniel knows his opponent, and by raising, he's built a nice pot for himself here.
He's probably trying to squeeze another bet from Lex, which isn't surprising with the way he usually plays.
Doesn't work. Lex folds.
What's the best possible hand you could have there?
Queen Jack of Hearts.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I had the Queen of Hearts.
Liar.
You may have missed it, but Doyle Brunson called it. Yes, he did.
It was the Queen Jack of Hearts?
I had the Queen Jack of Hearts.
Wow, and I called it on the flop. You didn't hear me.
Oh, I heard you say it. Yeah, I did hear you say it.
It's like, shut up.
That shows you're supposed to keep your mouth shut.
Exactly like how Troy Howard did Isaac Haxton. Pay attention, because Troy reads Isaac like an open book.
Pair of ladies for Isaac Haxton.
Mike's thinking about a re-raise.
Re-raise to 4,800.
Ace-King for Troy. This may be the hand for him.
He calls, and Viffer folds.
Troy's opted to see a flop rather than try to jam this pot. Chow folded an ace, so Ace-King's a bit more of a dog than usual.
2 to the flop.
Carefully studying Isaac Haxton.
Jack Queen 4 Haxton is flop top set.
It goes without saying that this is not the hand for Troy to start playing aggressively, and he apparently realized that and checked.
Ike is new to the table. He's got the nuts, trying to figure out the best way to get money out of Troy.
Bet 6,800.
Ike's hoping Troy's hand is big enough that he can call.
The way he looked at Isaac seemed as if he was trying to pierce through his skull to take a peek at his brain.
Why do you look so nervous?
Not the greatest of reads. If Ike's nervous, he's nervous you're going to fold. Troy's reading nerves and decides now it's time to take a stand. This could get pretty ugly for him.
That piercing stare. Oh my God. You just know he has his full attention on Isaac. And then...
Your eyes blink, sir. You got to set, don't you?
What?
Wow. That was impressive.
That was a soul read.
My eyes blinked? It's pretty good.
If you find that fascinating, make sure to watch this if you want to have your mind blown even more.